Hey, it's Rob. We're just diving into this today. So I have the next lesson involves percents and problems about percents. Percent is each 100. It can be written as a ratio. When I have ratios that are equal, I have a proportion. And don't forget to check out the mega notes on the ratio and proportion page 5 for a little bit of help with proportions. And then I also have another formula I can use whenever I hear percent. Whenever I hear percent, I can do a proportion explaining the definition of percents. Percents can be written as fractions out of 100, just like we did up here. And that definition of a percent is some kind of part over a total. When you get a percentage grade on your test, it's what part you got right out of the total amount of possible points you could have had. And there's another way to do it. If I was to rearrange this formula, I could make it look like this. The part is equal to the rate. The rate is written either as a fraction or a decimal without the percent sign. And then if I wanted to write it with the percent sign, I wouldn't need the fraction or decimal. Times the total. I call this the Purdy formula. Purdy, get it? Purdy, P looks like an E-R-T, Purdy. Okay? I can use either one. Mrs. Roberts oftentimes has a preference. And sometimes things are better than others. Depends on the situation. This formula, when you hear percent, will work all the time. Proportions are fantastic. I push proportions. Push proportions. It solves so many problems so easily. Now, Purdy is great when you have the rate and when you have the total. Purdy's great when you have the rate and the total, and you're looking for P. Other than that, it's not so great because it involves more algebra. Here we go. Number 1. What is 81% of 134? Did you hear percent? Yes, Mrs. Roberts. Okay, let's write our percent proportion. And let's label it. Let's leave room for our numbers. Percent 100 is always there in the denominator because if I change a percent to a fraction, the denominator is 100. Is a part out of a total. I have labeled this. Now I will fill in the blanks. Do you know the percent? What is? I don't know. When it's a what, I don't know it, I put an X. And it's out of 134. After you've written the proportion, put the labels down and then filled in the numbers. Cross multiplication comes next. Don't forget to keep things equal. I can do 81 times 134 on one side and 100 times X on the other. 81 times 134 in the calculator gives you 10,854. And if I don't know what to multiply 100 by to get the answer, then I reverse it with the inverse. And I do division by 100 to both sides because it's an equation, so you need to do things equally. Anything divided by itself is 1, then I'm done because this is alone. Divide and get 1 to be done. Okay, and then this goes in the calculator, and you get the answer, 108.54. That is 81% of 134. Now, I can solve all these problems with this proportion. It's just a matter of putting the numbers in a different spot. So even though this question looks different, that's the same work. 140 is what percent of 400? I heard percent. I write my percent proportion formula. Percents are over 100 is a part out of a total. 140 is, 140 is. What percent? Of 400? Of 400. Okay? And then you can cross multiply and then divide by the number in front of x, which is called the coefficient, and get your answer. Or, because I'm looking for the percentage, I can just put this in the calculator and change with a triangle to a percent. We did this in another section. Remember when I was converting fractions to percents? That's what I'm doing right now. 140 out of 400, 140 out of 400, change to a percentage, is 35%. Make sure you write the percent symbol. X is 35%. I could have done this with cross multiplying as well. Remember, you're only writing the percent symbol when they ask you what is the percent. Okay, next one on the list. Let me see. Let me try something for a second here. Do I want to do it for this one? I'll do it for this one. Let's say, don't write this down. Let's say I was going to use the Purdy formula. Now, P is for the part. What is the part? 36 is the part. The rate is 72%. Of means times, and T is total, and I don't know what that total is. Now, this involves algebra. I would divide by the coefficient and get the answer, but I don't want to get into all of that right now, so I don't want to do it that way. You could if you want. You can divide by 72% on both sides, put it in the calculator, and get the answer. But if you remember from the beginning of this lesson, I said Purdy's great when you have the rate in the total. And I don't have the rate in the total, so I don't want to do it that way. I change my mind. I erase or click delete since we use calculators. And I go back to my favorite. Percent over 100 is a part out of a total. So 36 is, in the is, 72% of what? See, you see that I'm doing the same thing every time? That's what makes it easy. When you have a, one size fits all tool, then you want to use that one. You don't want to have tools for a different tool for every single job. It's better to have one tool that solves all your problems. So let's use it. So I could do cross multiplying and divide by the coefficient, which again works all the time. But I think this one is a nice, easy equivalent fraction, isn't it? Isn't 36 times 2 72? Let me check. Sweet, it is. So I'm just going to write that. So times 2 when I go this way. So when I reverse it, it's divided by 2. So I used equivalent fractions for this one. So 100 divided by 2 is 50. So that's 36 out of 50 is 72%. And I could check myself by putting 36 out of 50 and pressing triangle percent. Okay? All right, number 7. 72 is what percent of 160? So percent. I heard percent. I write the formula. Percent out of 100 is something out of the total. 72 is what percent of 160? The last time I had to find the percent, I did the triangle change. I'll practice my cross multiplying this time. 160 times the x is equal to 72 times the 100, otherwise known as 7200. I'm going to divide both sides to get rid of times because I'm trying to get x by itself. So I'm going to divide by the coefficient, which is the number in front of x. And I get 45%. 160 divided by 160 is 1x. I don't have to write the 1. When I do this in the calculator, I get 45. And I know that I'm looking for percent, so I'm going to label it as percent. Just like when I'm looking for centimeters, I would label it centimeters. Okie dokies. You're going to do this other side on your own, and I'm going to do a couple of word problems with you. I'm going to do number 9 and number 11 with you. Number 9 says a jacket normally sells for $180 and it's on sale at a 35% discount. What is the sale price of the jacket? Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I just love money problems so much. I thought I would do one right now. But we are going to do a ton of tax, tip, and discount problems in your future. So did I ever say percent? Yeah, I did. So I can do percent over 100 is over of. But I haven't practiced Purdy much. So I'm going to write down Purdy. Purdy's great when you have the rate and the total. This is my original total. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the part is. So I could just put that in the calculator. 35 second left parentheses times 180. Enter. And it says it is 63. 63 what? What are my units? $63. Now this is what makes word problems harder. You have to pay attention. What is that $63? It is the discount. You're going to learn discounts. What do you do with discounts? Discounts make things cheaper. You take your original price and you get to save $63. You get to take it off. 180 minus 63 means you're going to pay $117 for the sale price. Okay? And don't worry. Don't you worry our little head. We will do tons more discount problems. Just not today. Okay? Number 11 says, of the 25 students in class, 5 were absent. What percent of the class was present? We should always underline the question. It is what percent. It's out of 25 and 5 were absent. So I'm going to do this question the way a student would do it. I read it once and I'm going to go. As a teacher, I would read it twice. But I probably got something up my sleeve or up my wrist sweater. So in any event, percent was said. So percent over 100 is over of. So it's of 25. That's the first thing I see. 5 were absent. That's the past tense for is. So I'm going to put that there. And there's only one spot left, X percent. Okie dokies? Okay, so since I'm looking for percent, I can do cross multiplying, I can do equivalent fractions, I can do the calculator button for just changing the fraction to a percent. You go ahead and do that. Do whichever method you want and tell me what is the percent. It is 20%, right? 5 times 4 is 100, 5 times 4 is 20. Cross multiply and then divide by 25, you get 20, or do the calculator button and you get 20%. And you're like, yay, okay, I'm done. I got 20%. But 20% is not the answer. Go back and reread, figure out how come 20% isn't the answer. We didn't do any wrong math, but 20% is not the answer. If you were to write some more labels, because that I'm trying to show you how important labeling is, you'll see why 20% is not the answer. So what is this 5? This 5 is how many students were absent. So I'm going to label right here absent. And then I'm going to go back and reread my question. I'm going to label it here too. What percent of the class was present? Oh, okay, so if 20% is absent, 100% is my whole entire class. So 100% of them is my entire class. Take away the people who were absent, leaves you with 80% present. And that's not to say that this is the only way you could have done the problem. You could have changed the problem from absent here to present and changed the 5 from the absent students to a 20 for the present students and then got an 80%. Okay? Okay, so make sure you paga la atención. You pay attention. to the words so they know what to do. And then number 10, just so you don't freak out with the word commission. Commission is like the money I make as a real estate agent. It's a part of the sale. I mean, I don't get the cost of a house as my paycheck. I get a piece of the cost of the house as my paycheck. So that's what a commission is. It's making money based on selling something. That's what car salesmen get. That's what some furniture salesmen get. Some jewelry salespeople. Salespeople, a lot of times they get a piece of what is sold. But tell you the truth, test taking strategy or any kind of strategy, my strategy is when there's one word in a problem that you won't understand, don't focus on what you don't know. Focus on what you do know. I do know when I hear percent, I write percent over 100 is over of. And then just fill it in. You could get the answer to this question with having no clue what commission means. Okie dokies. So finish everything on there. See you next time.